Welcome back to another video here on Squatting Pods, and today we are going to tear down the HelloRadio V12. Lots of people have asked for it, lots of people have said, look, it doesn't look like anybody else is going to do it, so will you do it for us? And the simple answer is, well, yeah, let's do it. Let's freaking go. Okay, so since a lot of you have asked us to do this, let's do it. Now you're going to need a 2mm hex driver in order to take this apart. The first job I would recommend is you take off the stick ends and then place them in here. But obviously we're going to take this off, so let's take this off first. Well, that one's been a bit tight. Okay, so we could put the stick ends in here. They're a little bit loose. They are a little bit loose in there, but that's where they would stay, so we can leave them in there and we'll just move them to one side. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove our two 21-700s from the battery bay. We're going to place them to one side too. And then it's a case of tackling the screws to take it apart, so we can have a look at what's actually inside this and whether or not it is going to be worth your money. Now I'm just looking, it actually looks really simple to take apart, which is always concerning because things are never as simple as they look, are they? But let's start this process. So there's a screw there. Try not to get my hand in the way of the camera. I'm trying to, well, none of these screws actually seem to be coming out, unless they are just crazily tight in here. And I'll highlight where the positions of them are when we finish. But like I say, it does look like a relatively simple thing to do. And if a Neanderthal like me ends up doing it and putting it back together and it still works, then you guys could be able to do it as well. So we've still got one here. And the ones in the bottom which were proving to be very tight. Hopefully, with the others releasing a little bit, these might not be as bad. Now, there may be something else somewhere else that we need to have a look at after we get this last screw, but let's take a look first. So there may be something under here, but let's just see if it'll... No, it doesn't appear to be anything else, which makes life so much easier. Just making sure there's nothing else I've missed. There is likely to be a connection wire here. So just go as easy as you can when you release that. So there we go. So we've got a couple of active fans here. There was a comment from somebody the other day that said, I'm not going to buy it because it hasn't got active cooling. And I'm pretty sure I've read somewhere, and you guys can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but the prerequisite of elrs is that you have to have active cooling if you're offering over 250 milliwatts. So we've got active cooling here, but we've also got a massive fan here as well. So this is our elrs module. This is our dual band. So obviously one of these fans is going to be for 250, one of these fans is going to be for 900. What I'm trying to see is how far apart do we take it? I'm very curious about this antenna, or should I say I'm very curious about the internal antenna that it has. I'm just wondering how far we have to take it. I'm going to guess it's going to be linked under here. So the logic would tell us that we need to take the elrs module off. So let's do that. Fair to say, unless you wanted a much thicker radio, the extra panel for the touchscreen is sort of understandable now when you look at this, because everything is really, really crammed in. Again, that's not a negative, it's just they've got a lot of stuff in here in a small space. So that lack of touchscreen does actually make a lot more sense now. Now sure, they could have increased the thickness, but then people would say, well, it's not a compact radio anymore. So I get it. It will remain as a negative, don't get me wrong. You know, we've done the review, we said in the review, we wish it had a touchscreen, but do I have to take these fans off? Please tell me I don't. Hopefully it's just here. And again, you'll have to forgive me for getting my hands in the way. I'm just trying to work out where this is still attached to. There's something pulling it back in, and I don't want to break anything for obvious reasons. I wonder if it is these. Absolutely no idea why that went out of focus, sorry. So it's difficult without pulling those plugs out. I'm not sure my big hands can get to those. Okay, so this is what it... Just make sure this is fully in focus before we do this. So this is what we are looking at underneath this elrs receiver, this dual band receiver. Probably the one on the ribbon cable there for the screen. And across the top there does appear to be sort of an antenna that runs across the top there for the internal one. And then obviously you've got the external one that leads through there. I am no expert on electronics, do not get me wrong, so I'm not going to start pointing stuff out and saying this is this and this is that and that should be better. To me it looks like it's good quality, but you guys are going to have to let me know in the comments whether or not I'm right. They've certainly packed it in though, haven't they? So what we'll do is we'll just put this back together, the elrs part, and then we'll have a look at the gimbals, we'll have a look at where the adjustments are, and we'll see what else we can actually take a look at in here. Okay, so that is that done. Now, I'm curious. Like I say, we've had a comment, and forgive me if it was you that left this comment, because I can't remember who it was. But it was about the fact that we haven't got active cooling. So let's make sure this active cooling actually works, because it did baffle me a little bit, did that statement. So both fans. So even though we're only using obviously one of the two modules, we can now see that both fans are actually working. Just to confirm. So I don't know where this rumor has come from that it's not active cooling. You can confirm not only is active cooling, it's dual active cooling with a really big heatsink as well. So really good work from HelloRadio there. Okay, let's have a look at the gimbal adjustments now then, shall we? Let's just pull this out so I don't electrocute myself. Highly unlikely, but it's me we're talking about. So we have, let's give it a try. If I've got it, I don't know if I should have a 1.5 in here actually. And we've got the spring there, which means it should be this one. Yep, so that's tightened that up. So I'm just going to loosen that off a little bit because that's quite tight now. That's better. And then if our spring is there, it will be this one, won't it? Yeah. And then it will be... That's going to be, is it this one? Pretty sure that's tightened them up a little bit. That does feel tighter. But let me just leave this down here. And if I'm wrong, I will add a correction. Just add a little bit more light there. And I'll just take a quick picture. So... that is that. We've pretty much done everything. We just need to put it back together now. Obviously, you've got your shoulder buttons up here, which are here. There isn't really, unless we was to take it all apart, and I don't really have the appetite for that because, well, I don't think we necessarily need to, do we? We've had a look at the quality of it, which I think is very good, if I'm completely honest with you. This heat sink, and these dual fans, obviously that's going to be custom machined, so there's going to be a cost to that. So you look at the radio on the face of it, and you know it's a premium radio, don't get me wrong, and it feels like a premium radio, but you know it's an expensive price to justify. But then when you actually look at the smaller details, well, the details are really, you can't get a touch screen in here, there just isn't the extra space. That having to be machined in itself and designed in itself is going to be adding to the cost. And I just think, as I mentioned in the review, I think the way I'm thinking about this essentially is like a mini TX15. I think that's the best way to think about it, because when you consider the tech in the TX15 and the tech in this, it is quite similar. There is, as we mentioned in the review, a couple of things that are slightly different. Of course there are. But as a general overview, I think it's really, really close to the TX15, but in a different form factor. And I think it's the whole touchscreen issue. I think now I've seen inside of it, I can sort of understand how little space they had to work with. Now, like I say, I'm no electronical expert or engineer or any other word that begins with an E. So if you've seen something in here that I haven't covered and you think, oh, well, hang on a minute, what about that? Or I didn't like the look of that, or actually there's something there that's really, really good that you didn't mention, please do drop a comment down below, because I don't profess, like I say, don't profess to be an expert on this sort of stuff. I'm quite happy to do this sort of stuff. I'm quite happy to risk my equipment, but I won't ever sort of profess that I know more than I do. I know what I know, and that's it. So if you know a little bit more and you've seen something in here, then let's have a conversation about it. Let me know down below so that we can have that chat. In the meantime, I'm just going to finish this off and I'll see you guys in the outro. Can't lie, that's a relief. And I found the best way to put these in is to go into these corners first. So go into that corner, go into that corner there like that, and then the rest should just fold into place like that. Should. Just fold into place. Like that. And again, same way this way. So go into the corners there. That stick is going to fall out. That is quite loose. I probably wouldn't advise putting your sticks in there. It's a bit looser than what I first thought it was. Again, simple as that. Really easy, simple and straightforward to do. I need to clean this screen now. But that's it. And it still works. Let me put the sticks on and I'll see you guys in the outro. Okay, so as you can see, that's it. We've done it, and yeah, it's still working, which is a massive bonus, especially in my hands. But I hope that teardown has helped you understand what's in it and the quality of it. Now, to me and my untrained eye, that looked like gold-plated PCBs to me, and especially machined and milled heatsink. Is that the case or not? Let me know in the comments down below. Did you enjoy this? Would you like to see more teardowns like this? I'm more than happy to do them if there's an appetite from you guys to watch them. If you've got any questions whatsoever on this or anything else, then please do leave them in the comments down below. I reread and I reply to every single one of your comments. So let's have a conversation down there right now. I'll catch you in a bit. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, you've been legends. Peace. YouTube and I have had a chat, and we believe that this is the video that you'll like the most.